And Gauranga, all glory to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we are continuing our discussion on Canto 4, Chapter 24, text 45 and 46. The title of the chapter is Chanting the Song Sung by Lord Shiva. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So there's only one verse in the board, so we'll chant that and then I'll just read the second verse one time. So we're reading verse 45. Snikta pravat kanashamam sarva saundarya sangraham charva yatha chaturbahu sujata ruchinanam Snikna pravat ganashamam sarva saundarya sangraham charvayata chaturbahu sujata ruchi rananam Snikta pravat ganashamam sarva saundarya sangraham charvayatha chaturbahu sujata ruchi rananam Snikta pravat ganashamam Snikta pravata ganashamam sarva saundarya sangraham charvayata chaturbahu sujata ruchirananam Snikta pravata ganashamam sarva saundarya sangamam charvayata chaturbahu sujata ruchirananam. I'll just read the next verse as well. Padma kosho pala Shaksham Sundara Brihusanasitam Sudvijam Sukapalashyam Samakarma Vidushanam. We'll do the word by word. Snikta, glistening. Pravat, rainy season. Ganashamam, densely clouded. Sarva, all. Saundarya, beauty. Sangraham, collection. Charu, beautiful. Ayata, beautiful bodily feature. Chatu Bahu, upon the forearmed, onto the forearmed, onto the forearm. Sujata, ultimately beautiful. Ruchira, very pleasing. Ananam, face. Padma Kosha, the whirl of the lotus flower. Palasa, petals. Aksham, eyes. Sundara, beautiful. Bru, eyebrows. Sunashikam, raised nose. Sudvijam, beautiful teeth. Kapola, beautiful forehead. Ashyam, face. Samakarna, equally beautiful ears. Vidushanam, fully decorated. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Lord's beauty resembles a dark cloud during the rainy season. As the rainfall glistens, His bodily feature also glisten. Indeed, He is the sum total of all beauty. The Lord has 4 arms and an exquisitely beautiful face with eyes like lotus petals, a beautiful raised nose, a beautiful highly raised nose, a mind-attracting smile, a beautiful forehead, and equally beautiful and fully decorated ears. So the purport, it's a long purport. After the scorching heat of the summer season, it is very pleasing to see dark clouds in the sky. As confirmed in Brahma Samhita, Brahavarsam asitam bhuha sundarangam. The Lord wears a peacock feather in His hair, and His bodily complexion is like that of a blackish cloud. The word sundara or snigdha means very pleasing. Kandarpa koti kamaniya. Krishna's beauty is so pleasing that not even millions upon millions of cupids can compare to it. The Lord's form as Vishnu is decorated in all opulence. Therefore, Lord Shiva is trying to see the most opulent form of Narayana or Vishnu. Generally, the worship of the Lord begins with the worship of Narayana or Vishnu, whereas the worship of Lord Krishna and Radharani and Radha is more confidential. Lord Narayan is worshipped by the Pancha Ratrika Vidhi or regulative principles, whereas Lord Krishna is worshipped by the Bhagavat Vidhi. No one can worship the Lord in the Bhagavat Vidhi without going through the regulations of the Pancharatrik Vidhi. Actually, neophyte devotees worship the Lord according to Pancharatrika Vidhi or the regulative principles enjoined in the Narada Pancharatra. Radha Krishna cannot be approached by the neophyte devotees. Therefore, temple worship according to regulative principles is offered to Lakshmi Narayana. Although there may be a Radha Krishna Vigraha or form, the worship of the neophyte devotee is accepted as Lakshmi Narayan worship. Worship according to the Pancharatrika Vidhi is called Vidhi Marg or Vaidhi Marg. And worship according to the Bhagavata Vidhi principle is called Raga Marg. The principle of Raga Marg are especially meant for devotees who are elevated to the Vrindavan platform. The inhabitants of Vrindavan, the gopis, Mother Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, the cowherd boys, the cows and everyone else are actually on Raga Marg or Bhagavat Marg platform. They participate in 5 different basic rasas: Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhurya and Shanta. But although these 5 rasas are found in the Bhagavat Marg is especially meant for Vatsalya and Madhurya, which is parental and conjugal relationships. Yet there is a Vipralamba Sakya, the higher fraternal worship of the Lord, especially enjoyed by the cowherd boys. Although there is friendship between Krishna and the cowherd boys, this friendship is different from the Aishwarya friendship between Krishna and Arjuna. When Arjuna saw the Vishwarupa of the gigantic universal form of the Lord, he was afraid for having treated Krishna as an ordinary friend. Therefore, he begged Krishna's pardon. However, the cowherd boys who are friends of Krishna in Vrindavan sometimes ride on the shoulders of Krishna. They treat Krishna equally just as they treat one another, and they are never afraid of him, nor do they ever beg his pardon. Thus the Raga Marga or Bhagavad Dharma friendship exists on the higher platform with Krishna, namely the platform of Vipralamba friendship. Parental friendship, parental service and conjugal service are visible in Vrindavan Rag-Marg relationship. So let's just do the Mangalacharan and we can ask you discuss as we go. It's a long purport. I don't want everybody to go to sleep. So Om Jnana Timrandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Takshurum Militam Ena Dasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Twapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadanti Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahana Raghunatam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savatudam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Vanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Shute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patithanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivashadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So yeah, thank you for coming over on a Sunday morning for the Bhagavatam class. This is a very long purport, so we'll split it up. And thank you for the nice classes given by Yuga Mukunda Prabhu and Ayush Prabhu. You gave a couple of times last week, right? Yeah, so thank you very much. Enjoy listening them through our social media. And I think they were actually like discussing very technical aspects of it. It was really nice to hear that, how the expansion happens, how the creation happens, and how Shiva is considered, this is in other words called as Rudra Gita, like Shiva glorifying Krishna. And as we all know, most of yesterday Rupa Chintamani Prabhu explained the background of how Shiva is meeting the Prachetas, and Prachetas are the sons of Prithu Maharaj. So we will go into some of the different topics discussed by Prabhupada. Here it says about, first thing is like Lord Shiva is glorifying Lord Krishna. And we also glorify Lord Krishna. In the Nectar of Devotion, we have this item, 64 devotional items that we need to perform. And when you come for the morning program, you cover almost 56, is it, Prabhu? 56, around, almost 56 items of the devotional service that we need to provide. So one of the things that we do is like praying to the Lord, like we say the Brahma Samhita prayers, and we also chant the Shishtarsham prayers. So when we not here on the morning program, and if we come and pray to Lord, at least myself, what do we pray? We pray about like, please help me, God help me with this one, and I need your help, your mercy on this, on certain things and everything. But glorification should be on describing the beauty of the Lord and describing about the mercy of the Lord, and also describing about the greatness of the Lord. Now we might think, why should we do that? But if you go and meet a great person, what do? First you glorify him. You actually recognize the great achievements you do. You don't just go and say like, okay, I have this problem. I have this, my kid is not studying well. My rent is really high. I need salary. I need a second job to support my. You don't go and say that to when you meet like a very wealthy person or the prime minister or the president of a country. You want to be first of all grateful for actually being able to meet him or her, and you want to thank him for all the good things that he's done, even if it's not personally you are being impacted, but on an overall basis, like all the good things that he or she has done, we express our gratitude first. Okay, and then very rarely do we talk about I have this problem, because we don't see that. We don't actually see that it's considering the amount of struggles the other person is going through on a bigger scale. We think our problems are not as high or significant in front of them. So when we actually come to the Lord, we actually just praise the Lord, and if you have any verses that you memorize, you can recite to the Lord. And then the best prayer that you can pray is what Prabhupada actually taught us, is like, please keep me in Krishna consciousness. Because if we have that prayer, everything else is actually secondary. Because everything else is temporary in this material world. Whatever happens today, you never know, 5 years down the lane, whether you actually want that same thing happening. And even what you thought 5 years before, if you think now, like Ayush Prabhu was saying, before being a devotee, what were you thinking? How do you waste the time? If before becoming a devotee, we wanted certain things to happen in life. And now if you think back on it and we'll think, Krishna, thank you that you didn't make that happen. If you made that happen, I would not be here. This is my mind has different plans, but you had different plans. Your plans are always better. So it's very, very interesting that even our prayers can actually turn against us. So that's why just glorifying the Lord and telling and helping us to be in Krishna consciousness, or in that consciousness where no matter what happens, I just want to be a devotee. And then Krishna will arrange different things. And the other thing that we talk about is also the friendship between also we talk about the worship of Radha and Krishna versus the worship of Lakshmi Narayan. So there are two types of things that are said. One is the Vaidhi, the regulative principle, and then other one is the Bhagavad Bhakti. So Vaidhi Bhakti is worshipping the Lord according to rules and regulations. All the deity worship that we do in our altar is very timely, in a certain procedure. Certain things are offered to the Lord at certain time, and when the Lord is made to rest, certain arrangements are made, and he's woken up. There are certain sweets are provided, and it's all according to the prescriptions of our scriptures and through the acharyas. We don't just give anything and everything. Just because we like pizza, we don't make pizza and give to the Lord. The Lord needs certain food, and it's actually recommended by the devotees. But on the other side, we see that there is also this spontaneous bhakti, right? Now, how do we go from this rules and regulations, Vaidhi Bhakti, to Raganuga Bhakti, or Raga Marg, which is spontaneous? If you can think about any time in the future, can you imagine that you just waking up just because you want to chant, right? And we do have some good days in our devotional life where we actually inspired to chant, but maybe 3-4 days, and the fourth day is like, wow, I chanted, I need a break, or Today, I just need to just finish my 16 rounds. Like, and you guys are lucky, you might not even understand what I'm saying because you're staying in temple. Staying in temple and following the devotional service is like jumping into the a river and actually just swimming, just going along the force of the water, the stream. You don't have to do much. You just maybe if you want to pretend that you're swimming, you can just do that, but then it'll take you where the destination is. But if you do devotional service or you're chanting in a home, it's like getting into a stream and just trying to swim, like opposing the flow of the river. It is so hard. It is so hard, and it is not because it's it's not because of the conscious or anything like that. It's just so many things are there to distract you. One of the best things that I like is when I go for a walk, I sometimes leave my phone at home because there is nothing to just put your hand into your pocket and take it out and have a look. It's become such a habit that you really don't have to have a, like before it's like you have a ping, you have a notification, you just look at it. Now it's not about that. It is hand has its own mind of its own. Every 5 minutes it has to go somewhere and then take something and look at it. Nothing happening. And I also do it. It's not that I'm not doing it, but we have to be conscious of it. Very conscious of it. And I really like when some of you are having those old phones, the brick phones. It's like, wow, these guys are lucky. But being a Grahastha, even if I want to go to a old Nokia phone, I cannot survive in this world. I cannot. Because everything is through app. If you want to book a cab, it's through app. You want to, even if I log into my bank account, it now sends me a notification through the app, so that to say that it's me. So security is high, but then you're becoming so and so much dependent on technology. So while the devotional service is hard, how do you think that one day you will just able to just move from this rule-based, regulations-based bhakti to a spontaneous bhakti? Do you have any suggestions? Like, you're all Bhagavatam givers. Ruchi, which is attraction towards, okay? Now the question is, how do you develop that attraction? So let's take this simple thing, like, chanting. We are chanting 16 rounds. No doubt about it. But are we chanting with love and thing, or we just sometimes just, I want to finish it so that I can get on with my life. I can do other services. So how do we move from chanting just to finish our rounds to chanting with emotion? How do we go there? Any suggestions? You can give it. There's no right or wrong answer. So, Prabhu. Yeah, Bhava, Purush. Hear the glorifications of the holy name. Yeah, that's a good one. Recently initiated. You have to. About chanting. How do you move from rule-based to actually aspiring to enthusiastic to chant? Strength. Okay. So Prabhu is saying, like, if you have some services to do, then you'll pray for that. Okay. Prabhu. Associating with devotees, you get a taste for chanting. Sagar Prabhu. Chanting regularly, that's very important. And it's very, very, very important as well, because sometimes we just have to, whether we have the taste or not have the taste, when we chant, as I said, Krishna tests us. Prabhu, Sankal Prabhu. Chanting in the morning time, in the mode of goodness. Okay. Ayush Prabhu. Having faith in instruction of spiritual master. Prabhu, I don't know your name, sorry. Sorry, I thought your name, Prabhu? Sandesh. Satish, okay, easy. Sorry, what do you say? Chanting attentively, okay. Okay, trying to chant attentively, that's what we can do. Mataji? Oh, okay, so it just induces, okay. Any? Okay. Praying to Prabhupada, taking the mercy. And yeah, that's all. If, Prabhu, yes, Prabhu. Death is just sitting around the corner. Okay. Which corner, Prabhu? Which the four corners? Prabhuji, you want to say something? You want to say something? How do you chant? How do you chant nicely? Huh? Chanting and hearing. Okay, he's simple process. Chanting and hearing, not as distracting. Every answer is right. Every answer is which actually takes you to the next level. Mataji, you want to share something? How do you go from yeah. Yes, yeah, that is everything. Every answer is right. Every answer is right. I want to give a small example. Like, I like to give devotees that we know. This was in, like, whoever said, like, just being around with devotees. You all know our dear Prema Bhakti Mataji. Yeah? Before she was, her Karmi name is Priyanka, and Prabhu's name is Manish. So, I've known them for long now, and when Dipti was born, 2011, so I've seen them in temple. Mataji comes. So there is one very nice soul which I really appreciate, which is Madhuri Mataji, who stays across the road, Mritula Mataji now. The reason I have so much respect for her is like, she had, like at that time, she had this lot of friends, okay, who are not Krishna conscious. But somehow or other, she always used to be with them, be friends. I don't know if they went to the VSS class or something. I don't know. She would have invited slowly. And one instance I really remember is like when Dipti was around 1 year old, which should be 2012. It's always me, before Dipti, after Dipti. Like before Christ, after Christ. So there was one Shiksha program happening. And Srivas Nitai Prabhu was collecting names and, encouraging people to chant one round. And I've seen Mataji for some time then. Like, she was not into chanting or anything like that. She was with friends and, coming to temple and everything. Srivas Prabhu approached her and said, like, Mataji, have we seen like, you're coming to temple regularly. Do you want to enroll for chanting commitment for one round every day for Shiksha program? And I vividly remember she saying, Prabhu, no, Prabhu. I am not interested in all these things. I just want to come to temple. I'm happy with that. I don't want to take chanting and everything. And fast forward like 15 years, I go and ask the Prabhu and Mataji. They have actually moved to Stanhope Gardens or something like that. So like, I see you more than I see you visiting temple more than I visit the temple, staying across the road. And they are like so attached to Shri Radha Gopinath. So this is exactly the thing. Just staying with devotees will actually induce that devotion, because it is not by everybody here, it's not by our power that we actually became devotees. We actually became devotees because we hang around devotees. Sometimes there's another aspect, we get pushed too much, but the most important thing is like when devotees see, they pray to us, they pray for us. They pray for us that, oh, this devotee, I see this person coming. Why, Krishna, what is your problem? Why can't you give your mercy? Like, they're coming here. If they're not coming, then, they're karmis. So they're coming here. What's your problem in just giving them asking them, letting them chant? Like, you are Paramatma inside. So these devotees pray. Now, in my opinion, this one thing that I had this discussion with one of my dear friend from Coimbatore. We are both, sometimes he calls me and he tells me a lot of things. He told me this wonderful thing which I thought is kind of touching this point on how we can move from this rule-based to spontaneous. Our mind is actually very goal-focused, right? Anything we do, we want to achieve something. So once we achieve something, like if you want to lose weight, what happens? You are so strict until you hit the target weight that you reached. After that, what happens? You relax. And then you again start to gain weight. And then once you come to a point, oh my God, I have to start dieting again. And a same thing, like, if you have to do something, you put in a lot of effort, but once the goal is reached, you kind of relax. Now, because the mind is like that, with chanting, what is our goal in chanting now? every day, finish 16 rounds. Right? Finish 16 rounds is our goal. When that 16 rounds is finished, then we kind of relax. And our mind also says, okay, every mantra you chant, you're going close to your goal, which is finishing 16 rounds. Now, if we can change that mind in thinking, rather than finishing 16 rounds, my goal of chanting is to be an attentive chanter, or be a efficient chanter, or being a chanting with emotions. If you make that goal into a different goal to the mind, then 16 round is just a number. But what you're trying to do in the 16 round is try to chant with emotion, chant with attention. I'm attentive chanter. That is what the goal is, not finishing 16 rounds. Then it changes. The mind will think, okay, 16 is nothing. And even after 16 you think, okay, did I do a good job? I have time. Let me try something more. So that's the way you can try to go from rule-based to spontaneous. Then it's not about 16, or that's not about number. And it becomes, how do I become better? Okay? So that's one thing. And also, Prabhupada talks about in the purport about the different relationships that is maintained, or like devotees have with Krishna. Because there is 5 rasas in the spiritual world, which is dasya, which is being a servant, sakya, friend, vatsalya, being a parent, madhurya, which is conjugal, and santa is a passive. However, that on top of it is the friendship that's by friendship which Krishna has with the cowherd boys and also with the gopis, the conjugal. And it's different to the relationship with Krishna had with Arjuna. When Arjuna was friend with Krishna, but then when he saw the Vishwarup, what happened? He's like, oh my God, like how could I do all these things which I did before? I casually would have tapped you. I would have been like, we could have been sitting in the same bed, and I would have just put my leg across, or I would have disrespected you. I've eaten from the same plate that you ate. I've been like so disrespectful. That awe and reverence suddenly struck him. But with the cowherd boys, what did they do? They actually didn't care. They really didn't care. And that is the true meaning of friendship. With friendship, if you have this inhibition like, oh my God, what will this person think? Then it's not friendship. You just do out of love. And you don't think that what will other person think of you or think, because there's literally like there's nothing separating us. And the other person knows that he's doing for my good, and you know that whatever the other person does, doing for you. That's where a very honest conversation and feedback and appreciation can actually flow through. And without that, it cannot happen. And sometimes you can see our friendship is very important, because friends become sometimes our editors. Editors meaning you might go to a friend and vent out certain things and say like, oh, this devotee did like that, and if how old my kids are not thing, or like my wife said this and everything. Friends will listen, but if the friend is, other than if the friend is scared and if he wants to just be on the good side, like if a boss saying to an employee, he just wants to be a good side of the boss, so you'll say whatever you did is right. But if you're a real friend, you'll say, yeah, I think so, but you are the same. You always behave this nasty with me as well. And then you say like, what? Do I? I said, yeah. That's, you behave the same way, but it doesn't work with another person. So then it kinds of edits, oh my God, am I behaving like that? And then it makes you to see the other side of you which you haven't seen, right? And the same with Krishna and they as well. They actually do everything and push Krishna down, do everything with fun. And when they saw the big mouth of Aghasura, what did they think? Oh, what will happen? Krishna was not there. If you go inside, it will be a trouble for Krishna. If what happens? It's like, Krishna is there, that's okay. It's fun. If we go inside, if it's his duty to save us, if something happens, let him come and save us. They just happily do it. And pulling each other legs is actually the highest form of friendship, right? Which is fair. Like, what did think about in your school days? What did you do? Like, you make fun with people whom you have so much trust. You don't make fun with people whom you are actually like, scared, or like you feel that, they will leave you. Okay, because then they know that they're not going to, you have to trust us so much. And that's why sometimes spiritual masters chastise, it's actually considered as a blessing. Because a coach will not push a player if he knows that he can actually push him because he has more potential. If the coach thinks that this guy is not going to make it to the next level, he's like, doing a great job, but he sees a potential in you, then he'll push you more. Now when a spiritual master chastises, it's basically saying that he sees something in you. He has this trust that this guy or this Mataji or this disciple is not going to leave Krishna conscious. And I can take the liberty to chastise him because he will take it in the right way. He has the maturity. So it's a blessing to even get chastised from a spiritual master. Now, the important thing that we need to understand is this bhakti, which we're doing it to Radha and Krishna, which is Vrindavan Rasa. We are actually aspiring for that, right? But worship is more on rules and regulations. Now you might think that there are 4 authentic sampradayas which we always speak: Rudra Sampradaya, Sri Sampradaya, Nimbark Sampradaya, Kumar Sampradaya, and then this one, our Brahma Sampradaya. So other sampradayas, mostly like Sri Sampradaya, where I come from, they consider Lord Vishnu as the topmost. Krishna is one of the avatars of Lord Vishnu. That's why they consider. And it's not that they don't know. They have all the literature. When you talk about the Brahma Vimohan Leela, where Brahma is trying to test Krishna, and then Brahma actually steals all the cowherd boys and friends, and he looks back, they're all there. And then when he comes there, Krishna shows that all these cowherd boys and the animals that Krishna is playing, they're all Vishnu, taking the form of them and then serving Krishna. So they know it, but they cannot accept the fact. And why can't they accept the fact? We are like simple devotees coming here, doing service, but we understand Krishna as the Supreme. I also had my doubt. No, Dasavatar, Krishna is one of the avatar of Vishnu. Why? How can Krishna be great? But we actually got the mercy because of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Without Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, we cannot understand the rasa of Vrindavan. They don't have access because they don't chant. And we might think this is one thing, every day we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And we think, what is great about this mantra? This mantra is great because Golokera Premadana Harinama Sankirtan. It is not from this material world. It's not from material world. That's why it gives you the consciousness, it improves, it actually raises your consciousness to another level. I remember one of my cousins, my elderly cousins, first time he went to US and then he came for a vacation. So we went to meet him, not out of love, because I was like year 6 or 7 or something, because he would have bought something, I will get something. Okay, we all went. So we go, he gave me a t-shirt. Could be like, I'm thinking, he might have just bought it from a store like Target and given to me. You never know, like he was a student. He wouldn't have gone and bought a Nike or like an Adidas, just a small. But just getting that one t-shirt which has come not from anywhere from India but from America, it's like so exciting. Next day you want to go and you go to the friends after school, go play. You don't want to say that this is t-shirt from America, but then you just look like this, show like this, and I say just this color, and then if nobody acknowledges, you go and say this t-shirt is from America. You touch this cloth and see the quality of the thing. So we are so excited that something came from not from the place you stay, but from somewhere else which you don't have access. Now this mantra is also the same. It's coming from Golok Vrindavan. It was not prepared or manufactured or manifested in this material world. And I myself is an example. Because when I came to Krishna conscious, I was really attracted to the philosophy, because I was having this thing about why am I why am I alive, what is the purpose of the life and all these things. Not because I was so elevated, because I really didn't want to study. I didn't like going to job and all these things. I was like, dude, at least let me know at least what's my purpose. At least I'll do that rather than, because I was not a good student, average student. My marks were around like 47, 48, like cricket score. So I was like, I want to get out of this material world. What is the thing that, some other purpose I can do that. So, but when I came to Krishna conscious, I like the philosophy about soul and everything, but I could not understand one thing, that there is a spiritual world called Golok Vrindavan, and Radha and Krishna are like, playing with the cowherd boys. I was like, what? God? Playing like that? Doesn't he have anything important to, because when you see important, what happens? Like you always think about somebody having a manager's suit, doing very important job, ordering people, managing things, like, this should be complex. Their life should be very complex, right? And then, so like, seriously, like Krishna's playing up there, like, this is, okay, anyway, I did not buy that concept. So like, let it go, let that concept be there. And I remember in one of the retreats, Sankarshan Das Maharaj, Sankarshan Prabhu, he actually said like, you are, the reason why we don't have faith is like you are sitting and thinking about something, and when the spiritual master says that in Goloka Vrindavan, Radha and Krishna and the cowherd boys are playing happily, you think it's a story, it's mythology. That is why the faith doesn't come. And I was like, why is he bringing this point up? Like, it was just it's a random point. But then I did not care about it. But I continued to chant. And I will promise you, I'm not kidding, 3-4 months after chanting, just for chanting 16 rounds, suddenly that concept did not look alien to me. It did not look alien. It was like, yeah, that is the reality. That should be reality. And if God means, he should be free. He should not be burdened by certain things. Just because we see in the material world that you being superior means like you have so many things to take care, doesn't mean God should do that as well. He has his agents to do it. Now that's the power of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. When you chant, you actually elevate yourself. So let's move on. We haven't finished the purport. Without serving Krishna according to the Vaidhi mark regulative principles of the Pancharathik Vidhi, unscrupulous people want to jump immediately to the Raga mark principles. Such people are called Sahajiya. There are also demons who enjoy depicting Krishna and his pastimes with the gopis, taking advantage of his licentious character. These demons who print books and write lyrics on the Raga mark principle are surely on the way to hell. Unfortunately, they lead others down with them. Devotees in Krishna consciousness should be very careful to avoid such demons. One should strictly follow the Vaidhi mark regulative principles in the worship of Lakshmi Narayan, although the Lord is present in the temple as Radha and Krishna. Radha Krishna includes Lakshmi Narayan. Therefore, when one worships the Lord according to the regulative principles, the Lord accepts the service in the role of Lakshmi Narayana. In the Nectar of Devotion, full instructions are given about the Vaidhi mark worship of Radha, Krishna or Lakshmi Narayan. Although there are 64 kinds of offenses one can commit in Vaidhi mark worship, in Raga mark worship there is no consideration of such offenses because the devotees on that platform are very much elevated and there is no question of offense. But if we do not follow the relative principles of Vaidhi mark platform and keep our eyes trained to spot offenses, we will not make progress. Again, we've covered that. It's about, we can't be held up in actually the offenses that we make, right? I can also say that, devotee association is the most important thing. I remember asking this question to Prahlad Prabhu, Sri Prahlad Prabhu. Devotee association is very, very amazing aspect, makes you grow in your spiritual life. But then, offense to a devotee is also, it's called the mad elephant thing. Like it just destroys your bhakti. So I said so is it better to just stay away from devotees and just do your bhakti? Because then you can avoid offending devotees. So Prabhu said, no, that is not possible. Without devotees, you cannot think. So sometimes we need to come out of that concept of, it's about what will I do wrong here? What will I do wrong here? And we need to understand Krishna is also a father. Like how children do mistakes, parents correct them and forgive them. They don't keep that grudge So Krishna is also like that. Sometimes when he sees the intent, bhavagrahi, he sees the intent of why you're doing it. He doesn't see that, okay, if you do it wantedly, then it's a different story. But if you're doing it when you're learning, when you fall down, it's okay. Krishna will consider that and forgive that. In his description of Krishna's beauty, Lord Shiva uses the word charvayata chatur bahu sujata churirananam, indicating the beautiful four-armed form of Narayan or Vishnu. Those who worship Lord Krishna describe him as Sujata Ruchirananam. In the Vishnu Tattva, there are hundreds and thousands or millions of forms of Supreme Lord. But all of these forms are forms of Krishna. But of all these forms, the form of Krishna is most beautiful. Thus, those who worship Krishna, the word Sujata Suchirananam is used. The forearm of Lord Vishnu has different purposes. The hands holding the lotus flower and conch shell are meant for devotees, whereas the other two hands holding the dice and mace or club are meant for the demons. Actually, all of Lord's arm are auspicious, whether they are holding conch shell and flower or club or disc. The demons killed by Lord Vishnu's chakra disc and clubs are elevated to the spiritual world, but like the devotees who are protected by the hands holding the lotus flower and conch shell. However, the demons who are elevated to the spiritual world are situated in the impersonal Brahman effulgence, whereas the devotees who are allowed to enter into the Vaikuntha planets. Those who are devotees of Lord Krishna are immediately elevated to the Goloka Vrindavan planet. I think we know most about it. Let's continue reading. The Lord's beauty is compared to a rainfall because when the rain falls in a rainy season, it becomes more and more pleasing to the people. After the scorching sun of the summer season, the people enjoy the rainy season very much. Indeed, they even come out of their doors in the village and enjoy the rainfall directly. Thus, the Lord's body features are compared to the cloud of the rainy season. The devotees enjoy the word Sarva Saundarya Sangraham is used. Enjoy the Lord's beauty because a collection of all kind of beauties. Therefore, the word Sarva Saundarya Sangraham is used. No one can say that the body of the Lord is wanting in beautiful parts. It is completely Purnam. Everything is complete. God's creation, God's beauty, and God's bodily features are all beautiful. All these are so complete that one's desire can become fully satisfied when one sees the beauty of the Lord. The word Sarva Saundarya indicates there are different types of beauties in this material and spiritual world, and the Lord contains all of them. Both materialists and spiritualists can enjoy the beauty of the Lord. Because the Supreme Lord attracts everyone, including demons and devotees, materialists and spiritualists, he is called Krishna. Similarly, his devotees also attract everyone. As mentioned in the Sat Goswami Ashtakam, Dhira Dhira Jana Priyathu. The Goswamis are equally dear to Dhira, devotees, and Adhira, demons. Lord Krishna was not very pleasing to the demons when he was present in Vrindavan, but 6 Goswamis are pleasing to the demons. Not pleasing to demons, but the 6 Goswamis are pleasing to demons when they were present in Vrindavan. That is the beauty of the Lord's dealing with this devotee. Sometimes the devotee gives more credit. So the Lord gives more credit to his devotees than what he takes himself. For instance, on the battle of Kurukshetra, Lord Krishna simply fought by giving directions. Yet it was Arjuna who took the credit for fighting. Nimitra matram bhava savasachin. O Savasachi Arjuna, can be put an instruction, can be but an instrument in the fight. Bhagavad Gita 11:33. Everything was arranged by the Lord, but the credit of victory was given to Arjuna. Similarly, in the Krishna conscious movement, everything is happening according to the predictions of Lord Chaitanya, but the credit goes to Lord Chaitanya's sincere devotees. Thus, the Lord is described herein as Sarva Saundarya Sangraham. So, we'll finish very quickly. So, the point that I want to cover is when you're actually looking at the beauty of the Lord. Like when I was in Adelaide doing my masters, all these magazines come. When I was doing my cleaning work, I used to look at these magazines. There was one article about these different actresses, Hollywood actresses, about the beauty of them. So everybody of them, they were saying, they're all amazing, paid for it, they're beautiful, there's so much following. But they were saying, if I had the a certain feature of another actress, it will be very nice. I really admire that. And another actor was saying like, oh, her eyes are so beautiful. Somebody is saying, oh, she has long legs. So everyone was describing about another one's beauty. That it'd be nice. I'm beautiful, but then that I really love that feature of that other person. So here Krishna is like, there's nothing wanting in Krishna that needs to add beauty, right? So what happens if Krishna wears a necklace? Does he become beauty, or the necklace becomes beautiful because it's on Krishna's body? That is the difference. And when we come and see the beautiful form of the Lord, it actually gives us peace. That's the whole point. Now, just having darshan of Krishna dries up the ocean of suffering. And we are all here in this material, and we want to get out of this one thing called suffering. And we do a lot of things. Go to massage, we take tablets, we do exercise, we eat healthy food, we do walking. Anything we do is because we want to keep a healthy body, right? End of the day. Healthy body, healthy mind, and now we also look for a healthy soul. Everything we do for that. And that is to avoid suffering. Now we come to in face-to-face Radha Gopinath, he actually helps us. He dries up the ocean of things. I've seen many devotees who go through a lot of sufferings and difficulties in their life, but some devotees are very attached to Gopinath, that a spiritual practice and their spiritual master, that can happen, but then they still don't want to give up that aspect of their life, which is spirituality. That is an amazing character. And Krishna also, here Prabhupada also says that Krishna was very hard on demons when he was in Vrindavan. Of course, he's not hard, but he's just giving them mercy as well. But the devotees are actually more merciful than Krishna, and that's why Krishna gives credit, because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, like, Sarva Dharmam Parikshite, until you do certain things, I'm not going to help you out. But devotees are like, Krishna, please, this guy, please. Devotees come and pray for another one. And sometimes it's a good thing as well, because, as I said, the forcing thing, it's not, we don't preach or try to push somebody because sometimes we want to show that we are greater, but then we can't see. We can't see the other devotee suffering. If you really want to actually see the best in for someone, what would you do? You force your children, because why? Just because you got these two creatures that came out of your body so that you can actually take advantage of them. No. We want them to move. We don't want to see them suffering in the future, so we just push them now. Similarly, even though sometimes people come to temple and say, I'm not interested in chanting, and we are like, no, you're doing all these things, but then I'm on my path to Golok Vrindavan. Because I like you, I just don't want to leave you there, just exploit you, take services from you. Oh, Mataji, you're there, okay, can you help in the garland, can you help in the cleaning, and then, okay, you guys, work is done, I'm chanting my rounds and going. No, they want to see, like, please, take up this process. All your cleaning is good, all your service is good, you're washing the pots, you're actually standing in the book table, whatever you're doing, but then please chant, because this is very important, because it'll take you, because we are concerned. So we will go any extent to actually make that happen. And Krishna also, there's so many other points which I didn't cover, but anyway. But the most important thing that we take out from this is that devotees are more merciful than Krishna. And there are so many other examples, like even Draupadi. Draupadi, when the whole thing happened, she said, when all the children were killed, when Krishna said, what do you want me to say? Like, forgive Ashwatthama. He is done without knowing what is the consequences. Like that, there are so many examples where Krishna wanted to do that, but then devotees said, no, that's okay. And our most famous example is Jagai and Madai. Though Lord Chaitanya is expansion of Lord, but then when he was hurt by Jagai and Madai, he went and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was ready to chop their head off. But then he said, no, please, no. You cannot do this, because the reason why you came here is not to kill demons. If you have that, you already did as Krishna. Now your persona has changed. You are here to kill the demon of in the heart, so that people get purified. So even though Krishna sometimes doesn't want, devotees plead to Krishna, and we are all the mercy of our Guru Maharaj, of Shri Radha Gopinath, but also the devotees who actually prayed for us and guided us. Right? I'll stop here. Any questions? Any comments? Anything? No? Grantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.